But there's something different about this one. The Sun will be at 19 degrees 24 minutes of Aries. The Moon will be at 19 degrees 24 minutes of Aries. Chiron will be at 19 degrees 24 minutes of Aries. Not in terms of latitude and longitude, the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon will be in a directly straight line with each other. Chiron will be the other side to the Sun, and in a degree of longitude it will also be in an exactly straight line, not latitude. Nevertheless, one way of interpreting a total eclipse, whether it's of the Sun or the Moon, is to suggest that, and this is not a partial eclipse or a penumbral eclipse, it's only with total eclipses, is that as the Sun and Moon line up directly with the Earth, there's a sense of, it's like lenses, sharpening focus, amplifying focus. For example, with today's eclipse, the Moon is going to pass in a straight line exactly between the Earth and the Sun. So it could be said that on the one hand, the Sun's light is going to be occluded from us. We're going to be blocked off from the Sun's light. This is true. This is why the ancients used to be so scared of eclipses, because without the Sun, we die. The Sun gives us heat, light, and life, and without it, we wouldn't be here. So when the Sun is eclipsed, everyone panics because they think we're all going to die. The full moon, the new moon, which is after all what this is in many ways amplifying the Sun. And the Sun's energy passing metaphorically through the Moon at a point on the Earth's surface, the point of the shadow of the eclipse, in this particular case, northern Mexico, the central and eastern seaboard of the USA, and then across the northern Atlantic. It does seem as if this line is on the receiving end of a vastly amplified focus. When you add Chiron into it as well, that ramps it up by a magnitude of 100. It's really bringing into the equation the potentials on the negative side for dichotomy, fragmentation, disintegration, left against right, black against white. It's about the splitting of nations, the splitting of tribes, the splitting of people against each other with no compromise, no negotiation, no middle ground. The vitriol and the hatred that is spewing out from every side is creating such a split personality, not only in America, but in every country of the world. A more neutral way of suggesting this eclipse with Chiron directly in the focal point is that we are seriously now being challenged to recognise as a species how good we are at self-sabotaging. How collectively we're so good at shooting ourselves in the foot, almost through fear of success. If you constantly fail just before you reach the point of success, then you can keep coming back and trying again. But if you succeed once, you then have no excuse for failure. So there is a middle ground point of view that this eclipse is a direct challenge to us as a species to say, enough is enough. It's time to take a next step at the evolutionary level and to start taking total responsibility for our actions, both individually and collectively. The positive way of looking at this eclipse is that more and more individuals, and it all starts with the individual, remember, are going to become more and more aware of the need, not so much anymore for dichotomy, fragmentation and disintegration, but for integration, assimilation and holism. Whenever I deal with Chiron in a person's chart, I say, look, there's a shadow in you, there's a bit of darkness in you. You're never going to get it right, you're never going to be good enough, but you're always getting better. And most people will then go, I've got to get rid of this shadow, I've got to get rid of this darkness, I don't want to be a bad person. All well and good. You don't have to be a bad person, that's a choice on your part. But you're never going to get rid of a shadow. You come to terms with it, you give it a nice little dungeon at the core of your being, where it can fester away, rot away to its heart's content, and you can occasionally let it out to play, and it comes out and then it goes back into its dungeon after time, knowing that it's not being persecuted, that it's welcome to stay, even if it's just 1%, and it's part of the team. Transpose that from the individual into the collective. As a species, we're always going to feel the capacity for anger and dislike. Always. That's part of the human nature. But when it turns into hatred, just because of someone else's religion or political viewpoint or skin colour, A, that's not intelligent, B, it's evolutionarily dumb, and C, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, and you might as well just retrovert back into the Stone Age. The future's calling us now, and it's calling us into a state where we start dealing with each other on a much more egalitarian and equal basis. As I've said before, this is the difference between human beings and humans being. Trying to step up. And whilst this eclipse won't provoke or show any specific direct action at the actual moment of the eclipse, it's certainly a trigger point that's waking us up collectively and giving us an opportunity to step forward evolutionarily. And as I'm fond of saying to my clients, you get windows of opportunity, and if you take them, you thrive. And if you don't take them, you lose nothing. You just stay the same.